For almost 70 years, one cartoon tiger has told kids their breakfast cereal is Grrreat. He's been on lunchboxes, cereal boxes, Super Bowl ads, even the cover of Italian GQ. Then, in one country, he just disappeared. Pulled off the shelves. Erased from the box. Not because Kellogg's wanted to retire him, because the government made them. This is the story of how Tony the Tiger got legally banned, and why some people think the same thing could eventually happen here. Tony the Tiger first showed up in 1952, created to sell Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. He wasn't just an ad, he became one of the most recognized characters in American advertising history, right up there with brand mascots people can name without even thinking. But by the late 2010s, health researchers across Latin America were looking at some genuinely alarming numbers. Mexico had one of the highest childhood obesity rates in the world, and public health officials pointed directly at food marketing aimed at kids as part of the problem. Their argument was simple: a cartoon animal on a box isn't just decoration. It's a design choice built specifically to make children want a specific product, the same psychological logic advertisers use with any lovable mascot. In 2020, Mexico passed a sweeping new food labeling law. Any packaged food or drink high in sugar, sodium, saturated fat, or calories now had to carry a bold black warning label right on the front of the package, an octagon-shaped stamp, impossible to miss. But the law didn't stop there. It went a step further than almost anywhere else in the world. If a product carried one of those warning labels, it was no longer allowed to use cartoon characters, celebrities, animated mascots, or anything else designed to appeal specifically to children, anywhere on the packaging. And Frosted Flakes checked exactly the box the law was targeting. Kellogg's had a choice: reformulate the recipe to dodge the warning labels entirely, or keep the classic recipe and lose the tiger. For Frosted Flakes specifically, they mostly went with option 2. Tony didn't get a redesign. He got removed completely. He wasn't alone. Chester Cheetah vanished from Cheetos bags. Toucan Sam disappeared from Fruit Loops. An elephant mascot named Melvin vanished from Choco Crispis. One by one, an entire generation of advertising icons got wiped off shelves in a single country, almost overnight. Here's the part that made this genuinely significant. Instead of just a regional business story, Mexico wasn't the first country to do this. Chile had already passed a similar law back in 2015, and it worked almost exactly the way public health researchers hoped. Some brands reformulated their products specifically to dodge the warning labels and keep their mascots, creating entirely new, healthier product lines just to stay compliant. And once two major markets had proven this kind of law was both legally enforceable and genuinely effective at nudging companies to reformulate, health advocates in other countries started asking an obvious question: why not here too? In the United States specifically, this sparked real policy conversations. Nothing has passed into law. American regulations around food marketing to children remain far looser than in Mexico or Chile. But the mere existence of serious proposals was enough to put the entire cereal industry on notice. If Tony the Tiger could get erased from packaging in one major market almost overnight, the assumption that mascots like him were permanently untouchable stopped looking so certain. Not everyone saw this as a public health win. Food and advertising industry groups pushed back hard, arguing these laws overstepped, that parents, not governments, should decide what their kids eat, and that a cartoon tiger isn't fundamentally different from any other kind of advertising a company is legally allowed to use. There was also a genuinely strange side effect nobody fully anticipated. For an entire generation of kids growing up in Mexico after 2020, Tony the Tiger simply won't be part of their childhood the way he was for their parents. A 70-year-old advertising icon effectively vanished from an entire country's collective memory, virtually overnight, by government decree, something almost no other brand mascot in history has experienced at that scale. So no, Tony the Tiger wasn't cancelled by internet backlash, a scandal, or a PR disaster. He was legislated out of existence in one country, based on a straightforward argument that a cartoon character's entire job is to make children want something, and lawmakers decided that job shouldn't apply to sugary cereal anymore. Whether you think that's smart public health policy or government overreach into harmless advertising probably depends on where you already stand on that debate. But either way, It's a genuinely rare case in corporate history, a beloved mascot that didn't fade away, get quietly retired, or get redesigned. He got banned by law, full stop. Do you think mascots like Tony should be regulated the same way in more countries, or is this government overreach? Let me know in the comments.